In this video, we'll take a look at Illustrator's Live Trace feature. Live Trace lets you load in an image and trace it to convert it to paths and filled objects. This is a great way to get new artwork into Illustrator that you can work with and modify. To get the object to work with before you can trace, you can use the File Place menu command, or you can drag and drop an object from Windows Explorer or the Finder in Macintosh. If you do drag and drop an image in, though, remember that you'll need to use the rasterize option to convert it from a linked image just to a regular image. You can tell what type of image you have by clicking on the appearance and looking at the category for the specific object. Once you have an image loaded, you can access Live Trace from the Object menu. There are several options you can do. The Make option will apply Live Trace to the image using the preset default settings. Make and Expand will do a trace of the image and then expand all of those paths and objects so that you can edit them in Illustrator. Make and Convert to Live Paint will trace the image and then convert the resulting objects to Live Paint so that you can use the Live Paint selection tool and the Live Paint Bucket tool to paint with big sections of color and divided sections of color. If you're unsure about the options that are set for tracing, you can check them here in the Edit Tracing Presets. There are a number of different presets available, or you can define your own using the New button. If you're unsure about any of these settings, then you can start tracing by opening the Tracing Options dialog box. You can also accept one of the defaults from the Tracing Options dialog box, or you can customize your own presets using the settings here. If you enable the preview, you'll be able to see the tracing results before they happen. The default tracing option is black and white, which uses only two colors, but you can change that to color using the Mode drop-down list. You can also specify the maximum number of colors that you want the trace feature to identify. Keep in mind that more colors means more potential paths, and since images typically have gradients displaying a wide range of colors, increasing the max colors will increase the number of paths dramatically. As you can see from this simple image, our initial trace has yielded over 5,000 paths with over 53,000 anchors, and that's only using 7 colors. There's also an option to output the colors to swatches so that you can work with them later, and to enable a blur. You can also specify to use a specific palette when doing the trace. For a more detailed or less detailed trace, you can adjust the path fitting, the minimum area, and the corner angle settings. There's also an option to ignore white for images that have white backgrounds. If you are scanning to just a black and white format, then you can tell the Trace dialog box to only use fills or only use strokes, or a combination of the two. You can also specify the max and minimum stroke length. This is a great option if you have some sketched artwork that you want to scan and trace in. By using the strokes only option, you can get those strokes. For this image though, we'll want to capture the color which uses both fills and strokes. At the bottom of the Options dialog box, you can specify what to show for the original raster image, whether no image, the original image, adjusted image, or a transparent image is displayed, and for the vector object, whether no tracing result, the tracing result, or just the outlines with the tracing are visible. This gives you an idea of the type of complexity you're dealing with in the traced image. When you're happy with the results, click the Trace button to start the trace. Once the trace is completed, you will move it as a whole object. To gain access to the independent paths and fills associated with this trace, you'll need to revisit the Live Trace menu and either expand as viewed, or convert to Live Paint. If we choose the Expand option, then all of the individual paths and fills are made available. However, they will still be grouped. If you use the Ungroup command, then eventually you'll get to the point where you can edit the individual points and paths in the traced object. This editing can be done using the Direct Selection tool.